Let's begin our week 1 preview with the primetime game, Thursday Night Football. The defending champion Los Angeles Rams taking on the Buffalo Bills, the presumptive favorite this year, the Vegas betting odds favorite to win the Super Bowl, the Buffalo Bills. This game comes in with the Bills being favored at -2.5. This line has sort of stuck around this -3 to -2.5 number since inception. I think it may have opened at -3.5, but we finally settled around -2.5 here, and I think this is a fair line. I think, or at least my early impression is, people are keen to hammer the Bills here. I think people are very eager to fade a Rams team that thought maybe was a little bit fluky last year, their Super Bowl victory. I disagree with that notion for the record, but I think people are very eager every year to crown a new champion, to crown a new king of the NFL. And I'm here to tell you, looking at some of these bets, that the bets are really, really favoring the Bills. 69% of all tickets right now are on the Bills. 85% of the money is on them. 74% of the bets are on the over. This is a public game, and you're always going to see this from these primetime games. A little tip here that I always have, I try as best I can to avoid betting the money line on or any of the spread action on these Thursday night football games, simply because Thursday night football is weird. Fluky stuff happens. A lot of times teams are on shorter rest. That doesn't really matter here because we're opening up the season, but even these opening season games tend to be a little bit strange with how they progress year to year. With that said, I don't really advise taking either team here. If you're going to bet, I think there are safer bets. I think that most people are going to want to throw something on this game because it is the first game of the NFL season, right? I'm one of those people. Don't bet the straight up, the spread. Take some player props. Enjoy your time watching this game, and just don't fall into the public narratives of the Bills are going to win the Super Bowl. They have Josh Allen. They're going to kick this team's ass, and the over is going to hit. Don't do that. If I did have a play here in terms of the spread, I would do a 6-point teaser where we get to tease the line 6 points in either direction, and I would tease the Rams plus 8.5 and the under at 58.5. And the reason I would do that is because I love to fade the public in these big, high-level primetime spots. I generally try to avoid doing a teaser within the same game just because a lot of times you may find yourself in a situation where the Rams can come back to cover that 8.5 line, but that'll put you over your projected under bet, and then you're sort of betting, or there's no way for you to win both legs of that teaser. But here, if you're going to bet anything, I would go with that. Rams plus 8.5 and under 58.5 with that 6-point tease. But more likely, I advise you guys take player props in this game. Go with my first prop pick here, Gabriel Davis under 4.5 receptions. Gabriel Davis only hit the over on this total 3 times in 19 games last year. This guy was not a volume catching threat. He is a big play threat who I think is being overvalued in part because of his major explosion in that last playoff game against the Chiefs. For those of you who don't remember that game, he caught for 200 yards and 4 touchdowns, which is pretty damn good. But it doesn't necessarily mean that it's a harbinger of continued domination from this guy. In his last regular season game last year, we saw him get 13 targets and only 3 receptions. Even when he's seeing a volume to some extent, he's not necessarily converting those high leverage opportunities. And we see that this is a guy who, to me, feels like little more than a red zone scoring kind of option for this Bills team. I think that 5 receptions from him would be a big overachievement. I'm fading the public on this one. You're going to have to pay some juice on this at -150, but Gabriel Davis under 4.5 receptions.